Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to episode 17 of the Unnamed Games podcast. As you can see, it's on video. Woo! So it's all you.
I did my hair all special.
Pretty exciting.
I did think you trimmed your beard as well, Alan, actually.
I might have done, yeah.
I had a shave, especially for the occasion.
He trimmed a couple of inches off. You should have seen it before. But anyway, I need no introductions, I think. You can see all their names dotted around everywhere. We've got Chris Ratley. How you doing, mate?
I can't do this pointing thing. I've got to learn to do this now.
There you go. Look. There he is.
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, it's Happy New Year, guys. All that good stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Alan Longfangs Howlett. How are you, mate?
I'm doing all right. I'm just going to have to manage without this.
Oh, dear. Dear, oh, dear.
just to clarify, I'm not managing out this. This is important.
Nice. And Mr. Phil Thompson, Speed Freak Phil.
Hi.
Hello, mate.
As I have an inferior setup to those, I have to keep looking backwards and forwards like this. So it's going to be a little disjointed.
I still say the other side of your face was better, Phil.
Well, it's technically the same side. I just flipped the camera feed so it looked like it was the right way around.
Look at that, look, eh? Right.
Like witchcraft.
Like magic.
Right. People listening to this very first episode, you're kind of guinea pigs, I guess, along with us. We've never done this before. I've been messing around with this all week because I've had a week off, trying to figure out how we're going to get this going and not doing just audio. We are still going to do the audio podcast, so you may be listening and thinking, I can't see anyone. What's going on? What are they talking about? But now you know. So this will be going up on YouTube. Things will probably go wrong. Alan's earphones will probably run out of battery, or Phil's microphone will fall off his table. Yeah, who knows?
The camera.
I would like to also say congratulations if you chose the audio choice, as you don't have to look at us.
There is that, yeah. It's not a pretty sight. I'm looking around the room.
It is considered the premium experience, the audio podcast.
Podcast Plus, $15.99 a month.
Yeah, this is what you get for the subscription for that one.
Yeah. That'll be the Patreon only version. You don't have to look at us. Yeah. Pay us money.
Only fans, gentlemen. Only fans.
Oh, mate. Oh, dear. Right. Well, before we move on, I guess I just wanted to say a happy new year to everyone who's been listening, and a big thanks to listening to us, because we're really, really enjoying doing this. And the fact that there are people listening and enjoying it, it really means the world to us. So again, thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right. So coming up this week, we have got some bits about some Ubisoft rumours. We've got some Xbox Cyberpunk surprise that happened to me the other day. And we've also got a 2021 quiz and more after that. So I think before we go too deep into the news, I wanted to kind of catch up with everybody and see what you've been doing this week, really. So I'm going to go the other way around. I'm going to go for Phil first. What have you been up to on your week off, and what you've been playing, what you've been doing?
Well, for the first time in 19 years, I haven't been working, which was lovely over Christmas. Nice. It was a lot of sleeping, it was a lot of gaming, some more sleeping, some drinking, and some more gaming. It's very good.
That sleeping getting in the way of important gaming, right?
Yeah. Limited sleeping. That's, I didn't indulge too much in that. Don't worry, Alan. It's quite nice, actually. Believe it or not, I have actually been playing Mass Effect Andromeda, because with the rumors of the Legendary collection coming out, I thought, fancy a bit of a spacefaring adventure. Plus, I started watching The Expanse Season 5 as well.
Nice.
Highly recommended if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah. The budget gets significantly better from Season 3 and onwards. So don't start there. Start with Season 1. Otherwise, it won't make sense. But I
have to say, that makes it sound like Seasons 1 to 3 were low quality. They certainly were not.
They were just lower budget. There's a difference. The quality was there, the budget wasn't. So yes, that kind of spurred me into Mass Effect Andromeda. Currently all the way through my second planet, fixing the vault. So it's all good.
Nice.
And if you don't know what that is, just play Mass Effect Andromeda. It's on EA Play, which is now on Game Pass Ultimate. Soon to be on PC Game Pass Ultimate when they re-announce a date for that at some point.
I thought it went on late December.
No, they pushed the date back. It was a problem. So yes, the PC people will have to wait. The Master Race have to wait a little bit longer for the Master experience.
Cool stuff. Mr. Longfangs, what have you been up to, my man?
Well, I've been playing Ark. I'm not going to lie.
Who'd have guessed that?
You know, there's the Christmas special on, and there's Raptor Claus dropping presents of high-level armor goods and
Raptor
guns
Claus.
and stuff. Raptor Claus, yeah, he flies across the sky at midnight every single arc day, and you have to chase it, and he drops presents, and you have to fight off raptors and T-Rexes and pick up the present, and you get really good high-level stuff. So it's really good. So, yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing a bit of Cyberpunk, and I fancied a bit of a change during the week, and I thought, you know, because I'm playing, you know, obviously Arc a lot and Cyberpunk, and I want something a little bit different. So I saw Hitman 2 on the store, and I think we had this conversation a while back, Craig, about how I've been playing it wrong for a long time. My expectation of loading up a level and then just going all the way through, and then when it goes horribly wrong, you end up killing everybody in the entire map to get the job done, and it's just approaching it from the wrong way, really, because it's basically a sandbox puzzle game, isn't it? And you need to spend quite a few playthroughs trying to find out where all the pieces are and the different things you can use to kind of get the job done. So I've approaching it from that angle. However, when I loaded it up and I did the first mission on the beach house, and then it took me into the training level, and I thought, okay, this is great. And then I was surprised because the training level was the same on Hitman, the first one, you know, the first of the remakes, and I was kind of like, that's a bit odd. And then I finished that, and they went, oh, we've noticed you haven't played the ones from the first game. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can play those first. And I did already own that. So I thought that was a really good touch from Hitman 2, that within Hitman 2, it gave me the facility to go back and play the level. So I'm currently playing the first level, which is Paris, on Hitman 1. Other than that, I've been watching Westworld Series 3. Yeah, I'm about halfway through the season. I've just watched 5 episodes. I think there's 9 or 10, I think. I'm not sure. And I love the first season. I think the first season is some of the best television you can possibly watch. Clever, well-produced. Even, you know, when a new TV series starts up and the credits start rolling and you're just like, ooh. You know, everything about it spoke quality, and there was real attention to detail on everything they did. And the story itself was just phenomenal. And then I watched season 2, and admittedly, I may have been slightly tipsy through a majority of watching that, because I watched it down Jules's, and we were drinking quite heavily. I'm not going to lie, and I remember coming out of it and thinking, "What the fill did I just watch?" I'm so confused, because it kind of jumped between 2 time frames all the time, and it was like it had like this same character. Was it what's his name, Bernard? And he was pretty much in every scene, but some scenes were in the past, and some scenes were in the present, and some scenes were in the, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. You know,
it's a confusing one.
Yeah, it is. So I didn't have any expectations going into number 3, but so far I have to say, I mean, it's not that it's bad television. It's just that it's not at the same heady heights that the first season seemed to be. But I'm holding off on a final review on it, because I do remember one of the things about season 1 was that you don't get a lot of the revelations till the second to last, the penultimate and the ultimate episode. And that's when you go, oh, I didn't know. And it suddenly makes sense. And it's sort of like, you're like, wow, that's so clever. And at the moment, I'm kind of feeling a little bit underwhelmed by it, despite the fact that it's set in quite a cyberpunk universe, which is obviously very relevant at the moment, playing the game. And I'm loving aspects of it, but it just doesn't scream out to me of being, this is Westworld season 1 with the same level of writing and the same cleverness. It just seems like standard sci-fi fare, which is not a bad thing, but not of the same quality as the first season. But I'll let you know when I finish it.
Yeah, I'm meaning to move on to that one, because I watched season 2 not so long ago, but I had heard similar things to season 3. It's sort of it's not quite got the same level as the first one, definitely. But cool stuff. Cool. Right, Mr. Chris, what have you been up to, my man?
Well, I've decided I wanted to rewatch all of The Mandalorian, because why not?
I've got to do that.
That end of season 2 has left me just wanting more of it. So I'm like, stuff it. We'll just go back and watch the whole thing again.
Yeah.
And, you know, also actually watched a couple of the Star Wars movies. I started on episode 1. Good old Jar Jar showed up and made that an effort. You know, but I always get to the end with it, and Darth Maul shows up, and I'm like, this film could do no wrong for the next however long. And then Jar Jar has to ruin it somewhere along the way, you know. But
Needs no ruin a Star Wars.
Don't. It started on episode 2, and that's the hardest of the series to watch. if you don't include
Oh,
the sequels.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of stuck on episode 2 at the minute, but I will get through it because I love episode 3 and
Yeah.
obviously onwards. And I've been building my Lego Star Wars Millennium Falcon, the one we discussed the other week. I showed Craig the box for it the other day, and I think he was a
monster.
teeny bit flabbergasted at the size of it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what she said.
yeah. And yeah, just played a bit of. I finished The Tourist yesterday. I decided to actually polish that off. Great little game. It's a really, really fun little game. It's not a particularly big game, not a particularly difficult game, but it's really, really enjoyable. And I had a great deal of fun just throughout the whole time in it. You know, it was just really chill, casual gaming, and it's nice to do that. I did also download Immortals: Phoenix Rising, but I haven't fired it up yet. I am quite excited about playing that, I have to admit. And like Alan, I have to be indulging myself. I've been raiding in the Division 2 with my crew and doing a bit of bits and pieces. There's a big manhunt on at the minute, which is a big story beat for all the Division players. So there's quite a lot of investment there. But yeah, I mean, I've just done the usual. It's this tier 4 lockdowns, right? What can we do?
Yeah.
Just stay in, do stuff.
Or just have to play games. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh no, it's terrible, isn't it? Terrible.
Cool stuff. Well, I mean, I've been doing not a whole lot of not a lot, I suppose. Me and Phil have decided we were going to play. Well, actually, no. Start at the beginning. Me, Phil, and Ratley decided we were going to play through the Hivebusters DLC for Gears 5, and oh my word, that was brilliant. It was such a stunning game. Oh, I mean, I think I said to you guys, I said I was going to send a strongly worded letter to the developers at the Coalition saying, thank you ever so much for making this game. However, I couldn't follow the story because all I kept doing was gawping at the beautiful graphics everywhere. It was really putting me off.
There were so many moments where we walk into an area and both me and you and almost synchronized go, oh, wow. And it was just like this stunning vista.
Or me about 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
Whatever lag.
It was just, I mean, I'm a big Gears fan. I've got, you can see it here. This Gears poster here from Gears Inc. I've got another one down the back from Luke Priest and stuff, and it was just brilliant. It was just superb. The characters were great. Like, remember when we started it, and I made a comment on which character I got, and I was like, I don't want to be him. He's about halfway through the campaign, like, this dude rocks. He's such a great character. And then but they were all good, and they, in their own way. The sort of team worked so well together, and and seeing some old characters return, which was really cool as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely brilliant. So I think we really enjoyed that. And actually, because Phil hadn't played Gears 5 yet on his Series X, he was obviously extra wowed because he hadn't seen how amazing the graphics were, and he still hadn't finished Gears 5 campaign, had you, mate? So we've actually, me and him have been working through. We've just done the Red Sand level and just got to the end of that one, and we're just starting into the next area, aren't we, Phil?
Yeah. Appropriate considering I was watching The Expanse. It felt like we were sledding around on Mars.
Yeah.
I particularly liked, especially with the kind of industrial look of all the buildings around there. It very much felt like a developing Mars.
Yeah, it was good
that
stuff.
Was, very good.
Yeah, so we've been doing that, and I've been playing a bit of Immortals: Phoenix Rising again. Really cool game, really enjoying it, and just sort of dabbling on different bits and bobs, watching some TV and things. And strange enough, Phil's been on at me to play a game called Need for Speed Heat for ages, and I've never been a big Need for Speed fan. I'm always more of a kind of a simulation type race, and I've never been much into arcade races unless they're like Mario Kart. And then I thought, right, I promise I'm going to have a go. So I thought, now's the time. I've got a bit of time. I'm going to have a really good punt at it. So, I've stunk about probably 3 or 4 hours into the game. I'm really enjoying it. It's really good fun. It's dead easy. You never take your finger off the throttle. You just touch the brake. You slide around a corner at 100 mile an hour. Completely unrealistic, but it's a bit of a laugh. Yeah, it's quite
good. Isn't about realism.
No, not at all. No. Not at all. And you can make a car look absolutely ridiculous and gaudy, like you're one of the family from Fast and the Furious.
Family in Ark.
So I thought it was the family from Ark, mate.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're going to do an Ark Fast and the Furious Need for Speed crossover.
You'll be able to build a Lamborghini out of wood and flint. And then get Vin Diesel in it and drive over the Raptors
No, I reckon he gets in there and just pedals really quickly.
Like
Flintstones. It's the Flintstones.
Quality stuff. Brilliant. Cool. Right. Well, it's nice to get to know what everyone's been up to and a bit of a chat. So, on to the news. So there's not been a huge amount going on because, well, everyone's on holiday. So there's not a lot coming through in the news, really. So we've got a couple of interesting little tidbits that have happened. So I opened my emails the other day and it said, your refund for Cyberpunk 2077 has been processed. And I thought, I haven't requested a refund for Cyberpunk 2077. What's going on? I opened the email up and they were refunding me £10. So it would seem, again, there's no real explanation to it, but it would seem that they're just refunding people through Xbox £10 value. So is that led by CD Projekt Red? Is that something Xbox have taken upon themselves to do? I don't know. What do you boys think? I'm going to go to Ratley first. Any ideas?
It's just weird, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just very, very weird. Why? Because surely if you fall in, there's pretty much two camps on Cyberpunk now, right? There's it's not good enough to spend the money on right now. There's too many problems with it. I'm in that camp. We all know this. I know that you and Alan are very much from the camp of it's great. I'm having so much fun with it. It doesn't matter. Why is there a need if people are so happy with it to throw money at them? Like, my thought might be, is it a precursor to stop people just refunding it when they finish it? Who will give you £10 if you don't refund it when you finish it, because there's obviously a very big danger with what's happened in that people could just plow through the campaign, plow through the game, and then just go, I want money back. And there's been no, as far as I know, no stipulation on how long you have played the game for or what have you, as to how long you can request a refund. Because I was quite a way into it when I got a refund, and I've said, like, I'm really keen to go back to it when it's finished, because for me it's an unfinished game right now, and I'm very, very keen to return to it and finish that story when it's a more polished product and the thing is more complete. But I don't understand why you would put money. I can't figure this one out at all. It doesn't make any sense to me in a. Who would do it? Why would anyone do it? Why would Xbox do it? They don't need to do it. CD Projekt Red. Why would? It's completely boggled me, to be quite honest. I can't reason it out at all. I mean, good for you. You're getting the game cheaper, right? It's superb. Just a very, very bizarre situation.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, I bought, I think I saved up about 30 quid's worth of reward points, and then I had obviously this £10 back as well. I think I had £5 from somewhere else, and £5 back from a reward thing on the Microsoft Rewards site as well. So the game's actually only cost me like 15 quid. So I'm pretty happy, really. So it's gone quite well, and I am really enjoying it. But actually, you raised quite a good point there, because I have finished the game. And it's just after I finished the game that I've received this email. Maybe it is tied to something like that. Alan, have you had the email and have you finished it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't finished it. I'm a bit of a completionist, so I'm going for 100% completion on the gigs and everything else. So I'm about 70 hours in, and I'm about, I don't know, is it like 90%, 30%, 40%? On the bars up there. I'm not really sure what they actually mean.
No, I don't either.
I think the first one is rep, isn't it? To do with
street cred, I think,
street cred, yeah. But the other two, I'm not sure. They're kind of campaign sort of like related, so I'm not really sure which one's which. But I'm fairly sure. I don't know how close I am to finishing it, but I don't think I'm anywhere near close to finishing. I haven't progressed the story an awful lot. And we both bought it from the Microsoft Game Store, right? And I haven't finished it, and I didn't get the refund. I'm the same as Chris. I don't understand the mythology behind this. If there's at the end of the day, if I'm unhappy with the product, like Chris was, then yeah, I want to be able to get a refund at the end of the day, especially because the product was sent out in a poor condition and wasn't actually what they promised was going to be delivered for a vast majority of users. However, my experience, as he was saying, and the same with you, Craig, has been mostly positive. Yeah, I've had issues, but none that have really affected me in any worse way than some other AAA titles, such as Witcher, or even GTA to some extent, where there were bugs, or Skyrim, for example, where I haven't felt I want to get a refund. So I mean, even if it gets to the end and you've got that refund after you finished it, if you request that refund, I can understand it. But if you haven't requested it, I don't see there's no business sense to it. Why do it? I mean, you're not endearing yourself to the customer, because if you finished it, then clearly you had the patience to put up with the crap and you enjoyed the experience. Exactly. Otherwise you wouldn't have finished it. So why give you a refund? It just, I don't know. But I haven't had a refund, and I suspect I'll put in another 100 hours into it before I get it done.
Yeah. Well, it makes it seem to me that it's something that it's so out of the box that it's maybe something that was led by CD Projekt Red. That's my personal feelings. I mean, Phil, you've not got that far because you've been kind of teetering between should I play it, shouldn't I play it? Because you're a bit worried about the bugs and stuff. What have you had that email through or?
Well, I do game sharing with Alan, so
Okay, right.
it hasn't cost me a penny.
Okay,
My
fair
main thoughts on this is Alan better get on with it and finish it so we can get a tenner back on it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking.
What
It's
do you mean
clearly
get a
tied to
tenner
my
back?
progress. I guess the only other thing that strikes me, did you buy any kind of special edition of the game, Craig, or was it just
No.
a standard version?
Standard
There was
version.
no special edition, was there? There was no special edition on
No.
the store. It was just one
No.
version of Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I really liked about them, actually, was the fact they weren't trying to nickel and dime you for some stupid digital collectible content. It was just like, here it is, it costs this much, you know.
Yeah.
And
If only you'd known what you know now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole other set of problems, but you know, it wasn't that toxic culture of charge you.
Yeah, they're just
16
saving up
different
for the
editions.
complete edition once all the DLC
Yeah.
comes out.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of a good reason. Smooth.
Jim microphone.
You saw nothing there. You saw nothing. Yeah, I can't think of a good reason behind it.
Those strap-on microphones aren't nearly
Oh,
as good
man.
as people say they are.
This video podcast is going to shed a whole new light on things, isn't it?
The fact
Well,
that
we said
people
it was
can
going to be a
recognise
mess.
bad enough as it is anyway.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff.
I think I
Right.
breathed out too hard. That's the problem.
You used to wait, it fell on your chest and you just looked down at it without moving. Genius. Oh, I love it. Right. Well, yeah, so we've got some random money come back from Cyberpunk. Well, thank you, Xbox. Thank you, CD Projekt Red, whoever did it.
Happy days, right?
Thanks for the money. Yeah. But
It's free
towards
money.
Cyberpunk.
Woohoo!
You can actually leave
Well,
our
that's
houses.
what the DLC they released.
Are on Craig right now.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okie dokie. Next point to cover. So Phil had been looking on the internet and he dug out a little rumor. It was quite an interesting one. And it is purely just a rumor. It's from a completely unsubstantiated source. It's very unlikely that it is complete. Well, I don't know. I won't say very unlikely. It could be true. Who knows? We just don't know yet. But there's a little rumor about Ubisoft titles coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2021. Do you want to fill us in a little bit about that, Phil?
To be perfectly honest, I think you've pretty much covered it with that.
Yeah.
The rumor is that after EA Access, or EA Players it's now called, has joined Xbox Game Pass, there are rumors that the basic Ubisoft bundle will also be joining it. So just for clarity, there are two tiers in the Ubisoft bundle as well. There's a basic kind of entry that gets most of their games, and then a premium one that gets the brand new stuff that launches, like your Watch Dogs and your Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So the theory is that it will be like EA, the kind of budget version coming to Game Pass. It'll be on the ultimate version. There won't be an additional cost, possibly. I mean, I think that's really cool if that happens. You know, the Game Pass is just getting a better and better deal. I guess on the back of this, my question back to you guys on this is actually, do you think we're going to start to see almost like a more segmented version of Game Pass? Like, is it at the moment we get Ultimate and we get, you know, Xbox and we get EA, and then, you know, they add Ubisoft and then we get Ubisoft, and then maybe they start adding something else on there, and then do we then start getting different tiers in Game Pass rather than just basic and ultimate? Do they start doing it, or do you have like a kind of pick and choose scenario, a bit like with Luna, where you just subscribe to the stuff?
Yeah, I can't see Microsoft going down that road. I mean, at the end of the day, they want to keep it as simple as possible. You know, you've got your two tiers, and that's fairly simple. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, obviously, what Ubisoft would be offering is a lot of premium titles. But at the same time,
so.
I would be very surprised if they offer another add-on, you know, where you can add more money and then get Ubisoft as well. I think the thing about the whole scheme, if it's true, and some of the sources do seem to think that it is very likely that this is true, is that it really does benefit Ubisoft as well as it benefits Microsoft at the end of the day. You know, from the sources that I've been reading up on, their Ubisoft Plus just doesn't seem to be doing as well as they would like. I mean, I think I was looking at the cost. It's what, £11 a month.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've got some great titles in there, but they are still limited compared to a source like, you know, Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, and they are struggling in. I haven't got any figures to substantiate this because there aren't any out there. But at the same time, as a gamer, I look at the different products on offer, and I look at, say, Ubisoft or EA Play, and I'm not going to pay for those subscriptions separately. Whereas if it's all included as a bulk package, as part of a Game Pass Ultimate, then I'm sold. And it benefits, as I say, it benefits Game Pass and it benefits Ubisoft, because people might go away and say, you know what, actually they have got a great service. I'm only playing their games. I can buy from them. So it may have a positive impact on their revenue as well as Game Pass. So it kind of benefits both parties. And I don't see any benefit to making even more tiers and making it more sort of like you've got to pay extra to get these extra parts. That doesn't make sense to me. And I'm looking at the business plan that they currently are going forward with, I can't imagine that would be in any way beneficial. Adding extra titles through additional subscription companies like EA Play and Ubisoft, yeah, definitely a benefit. But to make it more complicated, I think that would start turning people off to it, to be honest. It's the ease of access. You either want the full package or the streamline package. You get one or the other, boom, there you go, you're set, and you get everything.
Yeah, I think that I think the basic Ubisoft package, because like you're saying, they've got those two tiers, the basic tier and then the ultimate tier. The ultimate tier having all those new titles that are selling through. All of the older Ubisoft titles that they potentially put onto Game Pass are going to be ones that, let's be honest, they're not going to be selling. So even if they're going to get, less money, we don't know exactly how it works. We know that people or companies get paid per play. I think we've heard Phil Spencer say on Game Pass. So actually, if people are going, I've never tried Assassin's Creed Unity or whatever, I'm going to give it a quick go. If they jump on and play a couple of hours of it, actually Ubisoft are going to get some revenue, which is better than no revenue. I can't imagine them going, yes, everybody, Assassin's Creed 15 or whatever it's going to be, the next one is going to be day one on Game Pass. That's never going to happen. But the older titles, I think it's getting some money in rather than none.
Thoughts,
I think
Bradley?
one of the other.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say a lot.
Sorry,
I
Alan.
agree with Craig. Sorry, Alan. Yeah, I'll just quickly. I think there's a lot of truth from what Craig said. It's a lot of Ubisoft's older games as well. If you think about it, are games as a service as well. And so something like, let's just take the one I play, The Division, right? There is potential there, huge, for The Division as a title to gain more players, and if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you've never tried The Division out and it's now part of Game Pass Ultimate, you just fire up The Division 2 and go, hey, let's just fire it out. That's an opportunity for them to say microtransactions. It's an opportunity, like say, they'll get hits, because the idea of The Division is to keep you playing, to keep you coming back, to keep more content. It's a games as a service model. So that, and the last Ghost Recon was a games as a service, and I think that with them doing stuff, I know, them doing stuff like that, there's a lot of like, exactly the point Alan made, a lot of really strong revenue arguments to be made for it. I wonder if they'll maybe they're following on what EA are doing, because obviously we've got EA Play. The standard edition comes with Game Pass Ultimate, but you can subscribe for the day and date releases on EA Play Plus or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to do the same thing with the Xbox. They'll put the free edition into. I mean, think about, go back to The Division as an example. You've got Division 2 and Division 1 in there. You can play them to your heart's content for free or as part of your Ultimate package. And then, look, Division 3 is just around the corner. And if you subscribe to our package, you can play the Division 3 on the first day as well. Ooh, isn't that exciting? So I wonder if there's a lot of that kind of thinking to it. Like Alan says, like, that would make sense to me business-wise. And I think that's what we're going to see. And I think Ubisoft are seeing what EA have done and gone, that's a smart move.
EA are quite clever as well.
It's money, right? And Titanfall 2 is a great example. How many people have started playing Titanfall 2 now? We've talked about it loads. And Phil said the other week, because it was on EA Play, he fired up Titanfall 2, and I think there's a lot of sense for Ubisoft here to do this, especially with the way they make and play their games. They are designed as games as a service to play for a long time. Something that's going to, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Assassin's Creed, whatever the other one was, I've forgotten. They're massive games, right? And if you want to finish those, Origins, there you go. Sorry, yeah. If you want to finish those, that's a lot of play sessions, right? You're not just going to be. So if you're paid by Microsoft per play, that's a lot of play sessions. So I think
it's also a good point that all of those games have got quite a lot of microtransactions in them as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
pretty much every
Well-
Ubisoft game has a skin or a horse
Yep.
or a weapon that you can buy, and there's loads of them
Well,
on there. So there's a lot of
isn't
revenue just from
Valhalla-
that stuff.
Isn't Assassin's Creed the last 3? Aren't they renowned for the XP boosters that you can buy?
Yeah.
The ones
Yeah.
that allow you
Yeah,
to
that's the
out
big one.
grinding. I mean, it's exactly
Renowned
that,
is
right?
perhaps not the right word, but
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
renowned in a very in a very not a great sense.
Infamous,
But yeah.
I think is the term we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Infamous.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? We've got all this stuff to sort of consider. So
Another
I think
quick point
something
with-
else which I was going to mention, sorry, Phil, is that
Go for
we're
it.
talking about predominantly Xbox here, but let's not forget that Game Pass Ultimate is also available across PC. And there is an awful lot of PC games. One that comes to mind straight away is Anno 1800, which is one of the big PC strategy games of this year, which is also owned by Ubisoft. So there's a massive target audience, not just on the Xbox family consoles, but also on PCs. So you're getting that massive market immediately through Game Pass, and with all the add-ons that we've already discussed, such as buy-ins and service. So it is a massive market that they're basically buying into if they go into this deal. So it just makes so much sense. Sorry, Phil, carry on.
Last thing I was going to say, kind of along a similar lines, if they go the same way as EA will give you the base game, but they won't give you all the DLC included. So that's another good money spinner. You get into your Assassin's Creed Origins, you're like, I really like this, and I spent 30 hours in it. Actually, I really want to play that extra bit of Atlantis DLC. That's a quick tenner there to get the whole Atlantis DLC, and they bang you whatever 10% off because you're a subscriber. That's money they wouldn't have necessarily had because you wouldn't have even played the game.
Yeah.
That again, like you said, applies across to PC.
Yeah.
The biggest downfall I can see for me is that I basically own all those Ubisoft games already on PC because I've got a Humble Bundle subscription, and they
First
come
world
around
problems.
every year.
Yeah, it's for people who play a lot of games and own a lot of games. There's certainly that these services. I mean, I think long term we'll see the benefits more long term with this. We can sit and go, if I don't want to play it day and date. Like I've never been that fussed about Assassin's Creed. I've got the guy I game share with, Mr. Phil Weeks. Thank you very much, sir. He's big on Assassin's Creed. So if I want to play Assassin's Creed, I know he's going to buy it. But like since the first Watch Dogs, I've been, shall we say, on the fence about Watch Dogs. So I've not played 2 or 3. And if I get Watch Dogs 2 as part of this bundle, I'll dive into Watch Dogs 2 then. And it's supposed to be quite a good game. Don't get me wrong. I've not felt compelled to go and explore Watch Dogs, and this is exactly what this kind of service does, right? It opens that door to you, and you go right. And like you said, then I'm that player going, "Oh, microtransaction. Do I want to buy that?" I won't, but the door has been opened. At least I can look in the door.
Yeah.
Oh, there's stuff.
There's a lot of people who will.
Oh yeah,
One last
absolutely.
quick yes or no question to you guys. Again, along the same theory. So let's say they add Ubisoft bundle in there, right? Do they increase the price of Game Pass at some point? Not immediately, but maybe further down the line as more things get added. Alan?
I'd have to say no. There's no need. And I think from certain things that Phil Spencer said before, at the end of the day, it's about pulling people into the family. But it's about getting bums on seats. It's about getting people with that subscription to Game Pass Ultimate. If you start adding prices on making the cost higher every month, every time you add some new service to it or new games to the family, then that's just going to put people off. The more expensive you make it, the more they want to get people in the Microsoft Xbox family, and that all these things, buying ZeniMax, Bethesda, EA Play, all of these on Game Pass, they're all designed for one purpose, and that is to get more and more bums on seats in the Microsoft family, and adding to the cost would turn people off of that. So I would be very surprised. I think the price is at a perfect price point at the moment. It's not too expensive. You feel that you're really getting value for money, and by God you are. But at the same time, if it starts going up, that's when you start reviewing it and saying, "Ooh, I'm spending a lot of money every month on a lot of games that, quite frankly, a lot of times I don't play."
Yeah.
So,
Craig, yes or no?
Well, I would say it's two parts to that question, really.
Go for it.
So will the price go up because of adding Ubisoft titles into it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because it completely defeats the object of it. And if they did do that, they would stick it into that tiered system, because for all the points we've already brought up. But will the price of Game Pass go up? Absolutely, it will at some point. it's the economy at the end of the day. You know, it's inflationary, prices will go up. It will go up by £1, £2, whatever over time. It's just one of those things. Everything does. Your Sky bill does, your internet bill does. Everything goes up. But yeah, absolutely not with the Ubisoft stuff. So sorry, go Chris.
I was going to say, I also wonder how, if they decide to increase the price of Game Pass, how that will affect people who are on All Access, like me.
Well, it's effectively, you've effectively prepaid for it. Even though you're paying for it monthly, you've prepaid at a set price, haven't you?
Because my payment was made by the credit company, and I'm paying that. So surely what happens there is I just get it at that price. And because I think, if memory serves, when I signed my Xbox up, it didn't actually say, "Oh, you've got a rolling subscription to Game Pass." It said, "This Xbox comes with 2 years of Game Pass."
Yes,
24 months Game Pass. So it's like, cool. So I would get that basically. I guess the same benefit as prepaying it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're not paying for your Xbox monthly. You're paying a finance company back, basically.
Yeah. But it would affect the price of All Access, though. That would be something if they put that up. I'm sure it would affect that credit agreement, which is, I mean, it is what it is. But that's something else I'm sure that Microsoft would be looking at, because they want to keep that price low, cost to entry on All Access to keep the consoles going. I mean, like, everyone keeps referencing it, but that Series S, at the £20 odd a month is bonkers.
Yeah.
I have to admit, it's got to the point where I'm looking at a Series S and going, I could buy one of them for downstairs instead of using my One X. And I'm like, am I just going to get rid of my? Yeah, am I going to get rid of my One X to put a Series S downstairs in my games room when it's all finished? It's like,
sounds like a plan, mate. Right,
Alan, he's looking so disapproving, Dad, right now. Alan, it's just like,
no, I'm not. I wasn't actually. I was just thinking, I mean, the Series S is just such an amazing console, isn't it? I mean, let's face it, out of all the new generation, that it seems to deliver on all fronts. It has the power. It's in the right price range. It's I'm not sure I'm keen on the white, but I'll live with that. But overall, it's an amazing console. But I was thinking that if I did have to get myself a second console, it would probably be a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, if you could ever get one.
Well, I mean,
that's another thing.
Yeah, we should be doing about 18 months, I reckon.
The S was so appealing was because of the price thing. But if I had the spare dollar to just buy another console, it'd absolutely be dumb not to get a PS5 with the Series X sitting upstairs, because I get the best both worlds, then, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so happening though, considering my wonderful news of the next few months. It's like, cool. Yeah, maybe not.
So, just moving on to another Ubisoft piece of news. There's actually something about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The producer, or one of the producers at Ubisoft, is Julien Laferriere, I believe his name is. He said that next-gen improvements will be coming to the game. He was very fluffy and woolly about that. He didn't really sort of put it down to it was going to be ray tracing or it was going to be whatever it might be. But they're saying there's more coming to the game. So I guess kind of with this, it's almost a bit along the rumour mill kind of way again. What would you guys like to see from a next-gen improvement on Valhalla? I mean, I still haven't played Valhalla yet. I want to, but I still haven't jumped in. But I know you guys have. So, just kind of want to get your thoughts, really. So, Alan first.
Well, I mean, I haven't played a massive amount. I mean, I suppose I'm about 10, 12 hours into it. I'm struggling to think of anything I would want them to improve. I know there are people who've said they've got some screen tearing or some issues, but I thought those had been resolved in the patch. Personally, myself, I absolutely think the game is gorgeous anyway, but then Odyssey was gorgeous. Their game engine, whatever they're using for these Assassin's Creed games, is rock solid. And it has been ever since Origins, quite frankly. So, I mean, the only thing I've heard some other people kind of complaining about is that there's a lot of disparity between the way that Odyssey looked and the way that Valhalla looks. And the reality is that Odyssey is based in a Greek time where they had statues painted blue and gold and yellow, and Valhalla is set in Viking times and in England, which is basically mud covered. There's only a certain palette of colours. You're not going to get massive blue statues in the middle of Theodor. What was it called? Was it
Theotford?
Theotford. Yeah, you're not going to get the colour palette is considerably less.
I was going to say, if anything, I would say Thetford's being paid in quite a nice light in Valhalla, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it looks quite quaint. I'd move there if I hadn't been to Thetford before. Sorry, people in Thetford. But
apologies,
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. No, but I mean, overall, I'm not. It's not. I haven't had any frame rate issues. I haven't had any screen tearing. I think it's a very, very pretty game. And wow, so much. You know, I haven't seen the Gears 5 DLC, but when I was playing it, I got to England. I was just wandering around, going, "Oh, that is just beautiful. The sun coming through the trees. You see some ruins. I mean, graphically, I'm no expert, and I'm not the same as you guys. I'm not looking at how many frames per second and pixels per screen. I just look at it and go, does it look pretty? And don't get me wrong, sometimes I look at Ark and I go, oh, it looks really pretty. But that's in the eyes of a mother who looks at a really ugly child and says, look at baby Chris. Isn't he a beauty? Do you know what? Sorry, Chris. But I mean, but that's the thing, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. At moments, Ark, despite its bad engine and its age, sometimes has those moments of pure beauty when the lighting's just right and the textures hit it. But I've never felt like that with Valhalla. But I've always felt that from the moment I loaded Valhalla up, I've been like, oh my God, this game is gorgeous. The animations, the textures, couple of minor issues, but overall, absolutely beautiful. I was getting a bit bored of the snow, but then you go to England and then all of a sudden it's like these beautiful greens and browns. Just a shame I'm colorblind and it all looks freaking brown to me. But other than that, I think it looks like a beautiful game. And there's nothing, I'm sitting here thinking, what do I need to improve this game? I can't think of anything.
Fair enough. Mr. Ratley.
I mean, I'm sort of semi in agreement with Alan. I think it's a really, really pretty game as it stands. I don't think we need huge amounts of changes. Like, having said that, it's one of these things that you always say, it doesn't need to get any better. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you feel the improvements and you go, whoa!
Gears 5 is a good example.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I thought the 1X version of Gears 5 was jaw-dropping, right? And then you see it on the Series X, just like, where did this all come from? Look at the graphics. You look at the the reflections in it are so good. Phil was convinced it had ray tracing, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's
so
like locust chewing on your face, and you're going, "Oh, look at the reflection."
I can see the glistening off his gold teeth.
Yeah, it is. It's one of these things that I think. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's going to be some cool stuff they can do with it. My big concern, I know Phil raised this as an issue in the group, and I was absolutely, as soon as he said it was like that needs to be the thing, is if it's going to be like you get a ray trace mode, for example, if it's going to impact frame rate in a big way, like it's going to drop from 60 down to 30, it needs to be an option. Don't force us to do ray tracing. I mean, the way things have been going with this so far seems to be that most developers are on board with that idea. There is definitely two camps within the gaming community. There's the all the shinies, and then there's the I don't care if it looks super, super, super shiny. I just want it to look good and play better. Like the frame rate is the most important thing. So, I mean, as long as they maintain that option of a quality and a performance mode, and we get both, and it looks even better, I'm in. You can't complain if someone's going to give you more stuff for free to make your game better. But as for what, I mean, yeah, ray tracing would be nice. Other than that, I can't, unless they can make it load faster and things like that. Yeah, those under the surface things. Maybe we'll get better draw distances. Maybe we'll get higher polygon counts in the models. I don't know. But I'm sure what they'll do. Ubisoft tend to make really pretty games. So I'm sure whatever they implement will be really nice. I just hope they don't sacrifice performance to do that. Like, it doesn't become a, if you download this patch, you get crappy performance, but you get a really beautiful game. That's my only concern. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lovely thing to add extra to an already pretty game and already, enjoyable game. So yeah,
cool. Great.
More.
yeah. Well, we'll go to Phil, but I know exactly what Phil's going to say because Phil's a graphics whore, aren't you, mate?
If they're going to do it, they need to add ray tracing. We've got these specific ray tracing cores on the Xbox, and they need to use them. Much as, me and Ratley already had this conversation, though, I want ray tracing in 60 frames per second. That's what I want.
Don't we all?
I don't know if they can do that. I would be marveled if they could, and I hope that's the goal. That would be lovely if it was, but the reality is the fact that Watch Dogs released with 30k and ray tracing makes me think the added options are probably going to be 30 FPS and ray tracing.
Having said that,
oh, you can say exactly what I was going to say.
I have to say, PS5 Spider-Man, that blew my mind to see that doing 60 frames per second with ray tracing. I mean, credit where credit is due to Insomniac. That is impressive work. I mean, Spider-Man's always run really well. Like, I mean, that's been a benchmark for the PS4 Pro. Like, it was a real like win for them launch on the PS5, and then to just like increase that win, if you like, that's huge. I mean, I think that's brilliant. Like, they're putting more into it, and if they can do it, I can't see why Assassin's Creed can't. We'll see though. We will see. I'm really hoping that Assassin's Creed can and we get more of it.
I'm saying I don't need anything else, but hey, if you make it look better than it does already, then that's can't be a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just don't mess it up.
It's exactly that. You've got your dessert, but like now I can eat it too. You know,
don't break what isn't broke. Yeah.
That's
quality stuff.
Don't fix what isn't broke.
Yeah, cool stuff. Brilliant. Right. So we're moving on to a new little feature that we've added for this week. It's a special one because we're on video. And our resident techie man, a tech expert, Mr. Speed Freak Phil, has got some techie news. So Alan's going to read a book because he's not interested in this. And
does he need a jingle?
Phil's tech news. Take it away, Phil.
Okay, so the first one I want to start with is I want to head back down the rumor mill again because it's been a week for rumor mills, really, or this particular episode. Anyway.
I'm listening, Phil. Don't worry.
And that is that there have been some leaks about the next range of NVIDIA graphics cards. Now, they're very, very, early leaks, not confirmed at all. So, take it with a large shovel of salt. Let's go with that. But basically, and there's been some specs leaked on the new NVIDIA graphics card. So the top spec one currently is the RTX 3090, which was amazing. And just to give you a kind of rough idea, like, they're measuring all the new consoles and everything's in like teraflops. That 3090 was running at 38 teraflops versus our new Xbox is 12. Yeah. So that is a mighty, mighty graphics card. So the rumoring on the new, what's called the Lovelace architecture, the old one was Ampere, just for reference, is going to be coming in at 66 teraflops. It's got nearly double the number of CUDA cores, which are like the processing cores that basically do all the image processing, everything. So it's going to have, they reckon, 18,432, and the 3090 has 10,752. So that is going to be a mighty, mighty graphics card.
It's a monster.
Yeah, and I was I genuinely.
My one concern here. Yeah, my one concern, Phil, when it's nothing. Can anyone actually afford a graphics card?
Well, we shall see. I mean, suppose that's going to be on the newer Samsung 5nm processor, so they can make it on that. It's supposed to have better yields, which makes it cheaper to make, apparently.
I've got to say, like these processor developments at the minute are like this 5nm processor and things like that. It's just amazing what that's bringing to not just graphics cards, but like phone tech and console tech, all that sort of stuff. It's this processor seems to be suddenly we're hitting another generational leap, aren't we? In a big way. It's pretty mad.
Yeah, it felt like we're in a big rut almost for like the last 4 or 5 years, where graphics cards in particular didn't really jump. The 1080 was a little bit better than 980. A 1080 Ti was a bit better than a 1080, and then they did the 2080 and had ray tracing, but it actually performed slightly worse than the 1080 Ti, just out performance. And then the 3080 finally did the jump, and then the next one's going to jump double again. It's just crazy. So yeah.
You think therefore maybe have let themselves fall behind a little bit, you think, don't you, Phil? And they're going, oh, we better catch up again.
I think they've had it in the bag and they've been like, nah, we've got the market cap. We don't need to do anything. And then they've finally gone, okay, we need to like release some good stuff.
Scalpels will just buy them all anyway. Don't worry about it.
Scalpers,
yeah, we'll never see them, but it's nice to know they're making them.
yeah.
But yes, that was my my first tippet of tech news, which is just like way up there, like probably not even relevant to us realistically, because most of us are Xbox gamers. So I thought I'd go.
You never know with the pricing, though, mate. You never know.
Maybe.
That might be relevant to us though, in a roundabout way, Phil. Because if these things come out and they're cheap and everyone starts buying them on PC, is that going to mean that we're going to suffer immensely with our graphics performance? Because they'll be trying to shoehorn all this like super next gen stuff, and we'll be like, oh,
yeah.
Well, I think that's
look nice.
Worth bearing in mind. What was it on the RTX 3090, if you didn't have the DLSS on max settings, that could manage, was it 22 frames a second? Like Cyberpunk absolutely chugged Nvidia's biggest graphics card.
Yeah.
That's
On a
1,500
£1,200, yeah, 1,500 quid graphics card. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
even
mental.
if you use the DLSS, it can't hit 60. It was like 42 frames or something.
Mm.
Insert
mental.
slide here, if you can do
Yeah.
that.
That could just be down to poor software engineering, to be fair, though.
Could well be.
I mean, I
just
wouldn't-
think the
hold
games
on.
have gone
Hold
like
on,
that.
you saying Cyberpunk might have software issues?
No,
Hold
no.
on, Craig.
Perfect.
Hold on. That's slanderous. That is me.
Yeah,
Again,
you just got
I've
Thanks
not
for my
had any
£10.
problems.
Yeah.
steady on.
Oh, go on then, Phil. What's your next piece of
Second piece of
news.
information, which is much more. This is confirmed, so it's come out of CES. So again, I wanted to go for something that was a bit more realistic and a bit more, up our kind of market, particularly by the new consoles. So I've been looking into LG's new range of tellies, and so this year they are going to be releasing what's called a mini LED telly, which is really cool. And what's particularly cool about mini LEDs? So just for a bit of background, like a normal TV, a standard LCD TV has a screen and it has LEDs either at the side or behind it to light the screen. And that's how you get the image. Yeah. If you have a really nice, expensive telly, like Mr. Indiana Bond here with his Q9 Samsung, he has a 65-inch Q9. His LEDs are basically behind the screen, and he has, I believe, 480 dimming zones. So they can turn off 480 different points of the screen. Very cool. Gives you a really nice high contrast image, so you get a really nice vivid look. Your Cyberpunk is very visceral, and there's a nice bright HDR presentation for it.
It burns my retinas out when there's a white screen.
That crashing screen is just phenomenally beautiful.
Yeah, I helped you set it up, and I experienced the pain of the full
Yeah.
backlight at 9 p.m. in the evening.
Oh,
Yes, so the idea is, so LG's new range of tellies are called QNED, QNED, which stands for quantum dot color, nano cell, electric diode, or whatever. Basically, yeah, it's quantum dot, but they're adding in their nano cell tech in it. The thing is, those mini LEDs are going to give them 2,500 dimming zones on the top tier model. So you're going to get a much more accurate presentation in terms of color. You're going to get brighter whites, you're going to get darker blacks. The contrast ratios, again, they're quoting like 1,000,000 to 1, but it's going to give you much more accuracy. So you can have something bright in the left of the screen and you can have dark around it, and you're not going to get all this color fade on it. But they should be released next year.
Here's a question. Do we know about refresh rates and stuff on them?
Yeah, so they're going to be 120 hertz. These QNEDs, as they call them, to make it extra confusing, are actually a mid-range telly. So the OLED is still LG's top tier tech, and that's the best experience. So you still need to buy an LG CX or C11 when they come out if you want the best experience. That QNED tech is basically going in the middle. So it will probably have like an IPS panel, but it will have these additional dimming zones to give you this nice high contrast, nice kind of punchy picture to bring up the mid-range tellies, basically. So yeah, so
Cool.
they won't be very expensive either, which is kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's 120 hertz, as we know from gaming. It's a big thing going forward, and more accessibility for that 120 hertz at a more affordable price range, because it is really only people who are in a position that they can afford those more expensive TVs, those OLEDs, those QLEDs, they're expensive bits of kit. They're generally only the more seasoned gamer, say that, the old cronies like us. If you're a youngster,
disposable income.
Yeah, exactly.
You're looking for.
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, these tellies, I mean, in theory, I guess they'll be probably around about the 800 to £1,000 mark, depending on the size. I mean, there'll be different specs in there, but it will have this newer mini LED tech. There will be micro LED after that, which is completely different and compared to OLED, but
Good stuff.
Years away and
Yeah,
massively expensive.
sounds good, man.
That's Phil's Corner.
Phil's Tech Corner. Phil's Tech Corner.
Morning, Alan.
Tick corner.
No, thank you for that, Phil. That was really interesting. Maybe not so much for Alan, but I like my tech, and I know Ratley does as well. So it was good stuff. Thank you for that.
Exciting tellies to keep
I love my tech. I just don't know how it works. I love plug and play. I just want to plug it in and use the tech.
To be fair to Alan, I often think that's the best way, is to not know how stuff works, because then you can't get annoyed and go, well,
it's supposed to do it this way.
I can always call Craig or Phil up, you see, that's the thing. I can't get my TV working the right way. All right.
It's amazing, right? So not knowing tech. This is a good true story I'll tell you here, like from way back in the day. And if my brother listens to this, sorry, Andrew, I'm going to embarrass you. But way back in the day, we're talking PCs with 486 PCs. Remember those bad
Nice,
boys?
486.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My brother had a 486 DX266, right, which was like the
nice.
absolute dog stanglies when it came out. Right, they were the best of the best.
I just
And,
seen Alan's eyes glaze over.
Yeah, Alan's going to go back to reading his book in a second. You wait.
Could be reflection on his
But-
glasses. I think it's
But
glaze.
after a few years, as with all PCs, it needed some upgrades because it had just got a bit long in the tooth. It had been things. So my brother went with all his mates to buy upgrades, and they bought all this top tier tech, as they did, because that's exactly what my brother does every time. He always buys the most expensive stuff. Bought all this stuff, fit it in the PC, fired it up. Thing was running like a dog, absolute dog. And they're just like, oh, you know, it was like, well, what have we done wrong? They go back and recheck everything, still running like a dog. They go into the BIOS, do all this stuff. They're doing all the tech stuff, right? And they put it all back together. And I walk in as they're putting it all back together after removing everything. And I go, all right. And they're like, yeah, the channel's like, why is the turbo button not on? Sorry, I should say, not after they've not just put everything back in from the original stuff. They've gone and refunded all of the parts they just bought and have come back and reassembled the PC. And I've gone, why is the turbo button not on? So they put this whole thing, the is running like a dog because it didn't have the turbo mode switched on, which is how you basically, why it ever had a turbo mode back in the day is going to be turn that off, right, performance, turn it on. It runs well. It's one of those things like, oh, turbo, or just run like crap, you know? But yeah. But what made me laugh at this and saying about not knowing how tech works is my brother and all of his mates are all like hardcore computer nerds. Like my brother is known for his knowledge of tech. It's like in terms of PC tech, like how granular the detail of tech he understands in that is. He's
Not
been
buttons apparently.
nerd forever. And all of them were looking for the ultra super complicated reason for that. There must be this or there must be that. And I was like, turbo button's not on, mate. Yeah, you know, and it was as simple as that. So yeah, sometimes not knowing is better, Alan. I completely agree.
Yeah. There'll be people out there listening that will go, turbo button? What the hell are they talking about? It's like thinking back to like a Windows 95 machine where you used to shut the machine down and then you had to turn it off. It didn't turn itself off. What? Like, you think about it now, and that's insane. It's like, yeah. But anyway, right. So we've come to the end of the not massively informative news, but the great tech corner from Phil from our first ever video episode.
More news in a month, but something interesting comes out.
Yeah, and we're going to move now into the 2021 quiz, first of the year, and it's on video. Are you boys excited?
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, you are. Right. Okay. So
can't Google anything now.
You mean you've been Googling all this time?
Do we look like soothsayers?
Damn
it. Right. Okay.
That.
So, first section is going to be around games. The second section is going to be around TV, and the third section is going to be around movies. So what I've done is I've grabbed from various different locations. I've grabbed descriptions of said games, TV shows, and movies, and I'm going to read them out, and then you guys are going to have to buzz in and guess what the title is. Okay, and these are all things that are due to come out or slated to come out in 2021 at some point. All right, everyone up for that?
Sure, why not?
You'll look well up for it.
Oh, so excited.
Right, time for buzzers. So, Mr. Ratley, what are you going to have?
I needed a buzzer.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I didn't, did I? Top of the head.
Top of the head is not going to work.
Anybody else got a buzzer? Anyone else got a buzzer they can think of?
I can jump in.
Go for it, Alan. Family. Nice. I love it. Go on, Phil, you got one?
Yeah. Jeeves?
I'll ask Jeeves.
Yeah. Jeeves?
No, that's just Phil showing his childhood days, you know, when he had a nanny and a butler.
Right, Ratley, have you got one now?
Oh, hold on. I had a bit of an internet fail. I've got one. I've gone with themed room. I've gone Cowabunga.
Nice. There we go. Cowabunga, man. Fantastic stuff. Right. Fingers on the buzzers, as they say. Question number 1 in the games round. We have taking place in a small apartment suite and areas around it requires a player to repeatedly play through the events of a 12-minute cycle to try and solve a mystery. Jeeves, Mr. Phil.
I've just had a brain fart as I forgot. I know what the game is. Like you go in and you have to like stop yourself
I
getting
need the
murdered.
name. I need the name of the film.
It's
game.
called like 12 minutes.
It is called 12 Minutes. Well done,
done, mate.
Phil. Fantastic,
I remember seeing
mate.
that trailer and thinking it looked really cool, and I couldn't remember the name of it for life.
Yeah, yeah. So simple.
Yeah.
So simple. Brilliant. Right. Question number 2. A 1 to 3 player co-op RPG shooter set in an original dark and desperate...
Cowabunga!
Go for it, Ratley.
Is it Outriders?
It is Outriders. Yes. Nice one. We were just talking about it today on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Looks like
Right.
Destiny.
So, question number 3. Rasputin Aquato, trained acrobat and powerful young psychic, has realized his lifelong dream of joining the international psychic espionage organization known as the ...
Who writes these?
Could anybody got any ideas?
I think I know what game it is, but I can't think of the name of it.
I'll give you a tip. It is from a Microsoft first-party studio.
Jeeves.
Phil?
Is it the Medium?
No.
I can tell you what the game is, but I don't know the name of it for life.
I need the name of it.
Yeah.
Tell us what the game is, Ratley. Maybe we'll get it.
Okay, so the game, I'll give you a clue. It's a Microsoft studio making it. It's a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
No.
Is it not?
No.
Could have sworn it was.
No, it's not. The game is Psychonauts 2.
Ah!
Yes.
Yeah,
No, I was
Yeah.
thinking it was that assassin
Never
one for the
played the original.
PlayStation.
No.
Yeah.
No, Psychonauts 2, that was. No points on that one. Okay, question number 4. Set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and sombre tapestry, it is designed around the idea of being thrown into the world.
Cowabunga! I'm going to take a stab at the Medium.
It's not the Medium, no. Isolated and lost inside this dreamlike world, you'll explore different interconnected regions in a non-linear fashion.
Oh, is it that one where everything looks the same, or grey and steampunky? And I've watched that trailer, but I can't think of the name.
I'm going to go for it again. Set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry, it is designed around the idea of being thrown into the world, isolated and lost inside this dream-like world. You will explore different interconnected regions in a non-linear fashion.
You got things like flesh guns and.
I know exactly what it is. I know
Oh,
exactly what it
Jeeves.
is, and I can't think of the name of it again.
Jeeves, Phil, go.
Oh, it's not Agony, is it?
No.
No.
It is.
It's the Giga
wait.
inspired one.
It is the Giga inspired one. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but I can't think of the name.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Into
gonna
the nest.
say it.
Into the nest,
One
maybe.
sec. One of us might get it.
Cowabunga.
Go on.
Scorn.
Scorn.
That's
it.
it!
Yes.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one.
I was like, I was sitting there like a couple of minutes going, it's not Scorn. It's not Scorn. I know it's not that.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
it was that terrible one that was like similar kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't think that performed really or scored really badly, I believe.
Yeah, I think it
didn't
was
sell
mostly
well at all.
broken, so.
Yeah. Right. Take part in the eternal struggle between two extraordinary assassins. Take on the role of Colt as you search for a way. Alan?
Hitman 3.
No. As you search for a way to put an end to the time loop, trapping Black Reef while being hunted by the island's inhabitants. And Ratley knows exactly what it is because he mentioned it before, but he doesn't know what the name is.
Bloody name of it.
Can anyone think what it is? And this one
Let's do this.
is
I remember the game, I just can't think of the name. I remember it because you die repeatedly and have to start over, and you have to kill everybody within the certain. Like you have to assassinate everyone. Within the story.
Family.
Go for it.
Deathloop.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Well
Yeah.
done, Alan. Fantastic
Good one,
stuff.
Alan.
Well done, mate. Nice one. Oh, mate, that was quality. I couldn't believe you were talking about that earlier, going, he doesn't know the name of it. Ooh. Right, next question. Question number 6. A visceral 4-player co-op action game set in the hive city of Tertium.
Family.
Alan.
Warhammer Darktide.
It most certainly is Warhammer Darktide.
I'm upset because my internet just decided to crap out as you started reading that question. I was like, no idea what this is.
Yeah.
And it came back as Alan went, Warhammer Darktide. I'm like, son of a.
Right.
You've got enough right already.
Yeah.
Stop you winking.
Question number 7. Featuring RPG-like elements that give you several ways to deal with puzzles, whether aggressively or passively. Save fellow Madokan slaves. The more followers you save, the stronger the uprising becomes.
Family.
Go for it, Alan.
Far Cry 6?
No, it's not.
Cowabunga.
Chris?
I'm going to take a real wild stab in the dark and say Arc 2.
No, it's not. No. Good
Family.
pun. It's a sequel to quite a long-running series that hasn't been about for a little while, I believe. And back in the early 2000s, it was quite renowned for its graphical style.
Cowabunga.
Chris?
Oddworld. Whatever it is.
It is. I'm going to give you that. It's Oddworld Soulstorm, but yes, the new Oddworld. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Nice one, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
It's a point in for Mr. Ratley. Cool. So, question number 8: face the unknown, discover the truth, and save the city. Tokyo is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after 99% of the city's population vanished. Use a powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the paranormal threat and unravel. Phil.
Ghostwire? Tokyo Ghostwire?
It is Ghostwire Tokyo. Fantastic. Well done, Phil. Nice one. Right. Question number 9. Sired in an act of vampire terrorism, your existence
Family.
Alan.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
It most certainly is, Alan.
Right,
I
which
knew
Also
you'd
wins
have got
which also wins the competition for one of the longest game titles of
Yeah.
the past quarter. Ah,
It's a monster. It's a monster.
look
Right.
forward to that.
Yeah. So, question number 10. The protagonist is a kind young man living in a remote village. In order to save his sister, Yona, who fell terminally ill to the black scrawl, he sets out with Grimoire Weiss, a strange talking tome, to search for the sealed verses.
Near Replicant.
It is Near Replicant. Yes. Well done, Phil. Great stuff. Right. So that was the end of the first round. And I can tell you, boys, that Alan, you're on 3 points. Phil, you're on 3 points. And Ratley, you're on 3 points. So it's tight stuff. As we move into the
What she
TV round. Yeah.
I predict me going downhill in this round.
I'm going to suffer here, I think. Alan's
Right.
got this in the bag, I reckon.
Okay. Next round. Here we go. So it's TV, remember. Okay. 30 years after the events of the 1984 All Valley Karate Tournament, Johnny Lawrence's life.
Cowabunga.
Family.
That was Jeeves, I believe.
Yeah, Cobra Kai season 3.
Cobra Kai season 3, yes. Really on the cusp because it is the 1st of January.
Release
So it's
today,
out
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 2. Fresh off an incredible run on Supernatural, Gerald Padul.
Family.
Yes, Alan?
Texas Ranger.
I'm going to
Walker.
give you that. It's called Walker. Yes. Yeah,
He's-
well done.
He still sounds like a Winchester. I've seen the trailers. It's
Yeah.
when you've done a role for 15 years, there is that possibility that you are going to be typecast. So you just think you're watching Supernatural Western.
Fair enough.
Right, next question. Undoubtedly one of the most intriguing new offerings of the year. It ties into the MCU, already make it a must.
Family.
Yes, Alan.
Loki.
No. Already make it a must watch, but from the looks of the trailers, it's set to be claiming the status all by
Cowabunga.
itself. Go for it, Chris.
Is it One Division?
It is WandaVision. Yes.
Yeah.
Boys, you boys are close on these points, I tell you. Right, number 4. This TV series is set during the 3,441-year period known as the Age of Numenor, or the Second Age, and is coming.
Family.
Alan.
Lord of the Rings.
It is the Lord of the Rings series. Yes.
It's made by
do the
Amazon, I
series.
believe.
Yeah, Amazon. It is. Yeah, that was my next point. Yeah, Lord of the Rings series. So it's slated. Whether we get it in 2021, I don't know, but it's slated for 2021, according to the Tinterwebs, anyway.
Excited much?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Right, question number 5. The upcoming 6-part series will follow the 2012 version of a character, or more specifically, one that disappeared with the Tesseract.
Family.
Alan.
Loki.
Loki. Yes, it was Loki, mate. Well done. Fantastic stuff. All right, question number 6. An upcoming American science fiction television series based on the book series of the same name by Isaac Asimov and produced for Apple TV Plus. It features a band of exiles who discover that the only way to save the galactic empire from destruction is to defy it.
Family.
Alan.
Foundation?
It is Foundation.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you know they were doing a
Yeah.
TV series of that?
I did not actually, and do you know what? It's one of those book series that I've been trying to get round to reading for years, and I never actually have. And I'm ashamed of myself to say I'm a
Yeah.
science fiction fan for not having done so.
Well,
My mum loved those books, man.
yeah.
Like,
If
loved those
if
books.
anybody has not watched the trailer for that coming to Apple TV Plus, go and watch it. It looks
I'm watching it
incredible.
after this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks so good. So good. Brilliant. Right. Well, that's the end of the TV round. And on the end of the TV round, we
Alan.
have Phil on 1 point. We have Ratley on 1 point and Alan on 4 points.
Oh, Jack,
4
clean up,
points,
man.
man.
Absolutely creamed us there.
Brilliant, mate. Well done. Right.
Would this be a
So-
bad time to mention I don't have a TV license or
Yeah.
watch any TV? At like,
Hey, you already told
I-
us you watched The Mandalorian.
yeah, but that's not on TV, is it?
It's a TV
Streaming.
series.
I don't have a TV license.
Who does that?
We don't have TV.
TV
Oh,
license
sorry.
these days.
Right. Movies. Now on to movies. So question 1. Directed by Simon McQuaid, in this feature debut, this fantasy adventure film is an adaptation of a 1990s American video game franchise created by John Tobias and Ed Boon. The story focuses on the premise of the original game in the series, wherein some
Cowabunga?
of the... Chris?
It's not the Resident Evil reboot, is it?
It is not, no. Where some of the planet's greatest fighting warriors will be competing in a tournament featuring ancient
Family.
martial... Alan?
Street Fighter?
No.
What-
Featuring
Oh, it's the
ancient-
other one.
Chris?
Mortal Kombat.
It is Mortal
Ah!
Kombat, yes.
Oh man.
I didn't even know they were remaking another Mortal Kombat.
How can they
movie.
remake it? I mean, Mortal Kombat is a classic. If that theme song isn't in it, there's going to be. I'll tell you that for free.
Just have to
Right.
like, say,
Like,
it'd be
I have to
amazing.
say, second movie of that series is easily one of the worst films I've ever seen, if not
Yeah.
the worst. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
dreadful.
It's so bad.
I mean, it's so
good.
very far
No,
down.
so bad it's bad.
Yeah, I was going to
It's
say,
bad.
so bad it's good is it's possibly just about fitting in that. But I'll tell you, it's a true story. I went to cinema to see it just quickly. And there's a point in it where, I mean, the plot is just terrible. So I'm not going to spoil. If I spoil this for you and you really feel it's a spoiler, then seriously, go watch something good and get and understand what a spoiler can be. But there's a point in it where Shao Kahn reveals to the good guys, sorry, Raiden reveals to the good guys that he's Shao Kahn's brother. And it's like done that
Spoiler.
really easily. He goes, Shao Kahn's my brother. And I remember I went with a load of my friends to see it, right? And we're in the middle of the cinema, and I just lean over to all of my friends in the cinema and go, Luke, I am your father. To which we're all in absolute stitches, right? We're all like absolutely dying of laughter because this film was so bad we couldn't take it seriously. And there's loads of like super nerds in the audience giving us daggers because we're laughing at this absolute disaster of a movie. And it's just like, you guys are enjoying this? Are you blind? Are you not watching the same film we are? It's terrible. And I love the first movie.
Yeah. Oh, I
Anyway.
actually went to put that on. It's on Amazon or Netflix, I think. I went to put it on the other, and Chris was like, what the hell are you putting this on for? I was like, yeah, all right.
It's what, Annihilation. You went to put that on.
No. First one.
The
But
first one's great. I really enjoy it. But the second
Yeah.
one, oh, it actually has as a YouTube video, which is like titled "The Worst Line in Cinema History," and it's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Nice.
We should actually have a segment at some point about movies that we haven't actually finished because they were so bad.
Yeah, I've got plenty of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Next question. Hutch Mansell is a mild-mannered family man who suffers from PTSD. One night, when two thieves break into his suburban home, he declines to defend himself or his family, thinking it will cause another traumatic experience. When his neighbor gets attacked by the same two thieves, Hutch springs into action and murders the two thieves. Helping the neighbor, however, Mansell and his family are targeted by a vengeful Russian drug lord who threatens to retaliate against the Mansells.
Isn't
Ring
that
any
always the
bells?
way?
Yeah, it is always the way, isn't it? Yeah.
Messing
know.
with these Russian drug lords.
You
like
just don't know. Next time you think about murdering a burglar, just think twice. There's always a Russian drug lord on the block.
Yeah.
And no, it's not John Wick 4.
Cowabunga.
Go for it, Chris.
Is it called Nobody?
It is called Nobody.
Wow.
Have
So
you
the
seen
trailer's awesome. If you haven't seen it,
So
I have-
good.
I
trailer's
have
so
not.
good.
Are there any names attached to it?
Yes, Bob Odenkirk
Ooh,
is
okay.
he is the main guy who's like
Honestly,
a bit
the
of a
trailer's
badass.
great.
It is
Trailer's
really cool.
good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Came out of nowhere. Totally came out of
yeah.
nowhere.
Bob Odenkirk, Phil, if you don't know him, he's the guy from Better Call Saul. Plays Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad.
Yes, I know.
Yes, yeah, and he was on like is it Saturday Night Live and things. He was like a comedy writer for many years, and he's doing this kind of action role. It looks really cool, very worth checking out. Right, so I better actually give you a point for that, Ratley. I nearly forgot to. So next question: a prince learns that he has a long lost son in the United States and must return to America. Family.
Coming to America.
It is coming to America. Yes.
And could you hear disdain in my voice?
I can't wait for that.
I really hope it's good.
This, or
no, it's a sequel. I really hope it's good, but I've just got this gut feeling it's going to be just awful.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a very 80s movie, wasn't it?
But that's the thing. I guess I'm coming off a wave of Cobra Kai, going, bit of 80s cheese back in me eyeballs. Yes. Right, next question. After being evicted from their home, 2 children and their single mother moved to a farm in Somerville.
Family.
Alan.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
It is Ghostbusters Afterlife.
You beat me to it, man.
It looks so good.
I really hope it's good. I genuinely
Please let it be awesome.
Yeah,
the trailer looks awesome.
It does. The last one was just
Ghostbusters 2016. Just not again.
That was no good. That was no good. Right. Next question. A movie based on the characters created by Jack Kirby in the mid 1970s. An alien race called the Celestials visited Earth 5 million years ago and performed genetic experiments. Chris,
The New Gods?
No. Performed genetic experiments on early forms of life, unlocking the ability for superpowered mutations to exist.
Family.
Alan.
Spiral.
No.
Jeeves.
Jeeves, go for it, Phil.
The Eternals?
It is Eternals. Yes, Phil. Nice. Well done, mate. Yeah, Eternals. Right.
Didn't want to end on a 0.
Right. Next question. The story follows a descendant of explorer Sir Francis Drake, a treasure hunter who believes he has learned the whereabouts of El Dorado, the fabled South American golden city, from a cursed golden statue. The search becomes competitive when a rival hunter joins the fray.
Cowabunga.
Yes, Chris.
Uncharted.
It is Uncharted.
Nice.
Yes. Nice one. Well done. Which I'm quite looking forward to. I reckon Tom Holland might do an all right job in that.
Yeah, he looks good in the part. To be fair.
As a young Drake.
Not Nathan Fillion, though, is he?
He's not. See that? Well, you get Nathan Fillion for an older Nathan Drake afterwards.
Yeah.
You need to do something because they did that little teaser test video, didn't they?
It's a fan film. Yeah, that was good. Right, and the seventh and final question in this round is in a new world where man and monster now coexist. Monarch must lead the. Chris,
please not Monster Hunter.
No. Monarch must lead the way to a prosperous future alongside the Titans, keeping humanity in check. However, rival factions want to manipulate the Titans for war and begin...
Family.
Alan.
No, it's not. Sorry. I thought it was
all right.
But...
so war... Chris.
Godzilla versus King Kong.
It is Godzilla versus King Kong.
Of course.
Fantastic. And that's the end of the quiz. And I'm going to have to quickly count this up. One thing I didn't think about writing this stuff down here is that I've got practically no light in here and I can hardly even see it. So,
well, clearly you need glasses.
Yeah. Or just a light on.
Join the crew of Specky Geeks.
I mean, all us cool kids are wearing them.
Exactly. I'll just put
you can get glasses with a torch on the side of them.
Yeah. Not all us old people who can't see properly is what you mean.
So, we have in third place with 5 points, Mr. Phil. Yeah, sorry, mate. Right. Last place on that one.
Didn't do well in the movies round.
Then in second place, we have with 8 points, Mr. Ratley Ratster, which means our winner is Alan with 9 points.
Come on!
That way.
Fill it, boys! Fill it!
Oh, he's
It's
here.
Alan's first legitimate win.
Yeah,
What was
down
his
here.
other one not legitimate?
I don't know. Was there a legitimate one before?
Well,
First
it's
win we had, there was. I think you were missing, weren't you, Craig?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it
Craig
was
was missing.
literally just two of us, but I still won. I mean,
Yeah,
legitimate.
it's legit.
It's a bit harsh,
legit.
Philip.
I might have ribbed him a little bit for that being like narrow the odds he wins, but he did win legitimately.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, it wasn't just like he was the only person who showed up and won. That would be slightly different.
It'd be worrying if he didn't win.
Yeah.
that
Well,
was
I'd
the
like
case.
to be a gracious winner, but I just don't have it in me. Phil, you want?
Mate. You just lounge around in it and love it. You know,
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming for that first full-on win.
Great stuff. Cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And I think there was a few questions where it kind of dragged on a little bit there, which means people listening at home will have had a chance to play along with it a little bit. So I guess that all leaves us now really is just to thank you for watching the first episode. Say Happy New Year to everyone. And it's a bye from me. It's a bye from Chris.
Bye.
It's a bye from Alan.
Bye.
It's a bye from Phil.
So long.
Laters all. Bye-bye.